Hello everybody. Today I'm going to discuss the International Day of Women and Girls in STEM. It is celebrated on the 11th of February every year, and it was created by the UN in 2015 to highlight the gender inequality within the fields of STEM, and to celebrate the women and girls who contribute to the field. This day is important because there is a significant gender gap that has persisted throughout the years at all levels of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics all over the world. Even though women have made tremendous progress towards increasing their participation in higher education, they are still underrepresented in these fields. Gender equality has always been a core issue for the United Nations, and gender equality and empowerment of women and girls will make a crucial contribution not only to economic development of the world, but to progress across all goals and targets of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development as well. Throughout history, women have made massive contributions to the field of STEM, and here are just three of note. Marie Curie was the first woman to win a Nobel Prize. However, she was only awarded it after her husband refused to accept it if she wasn't included. She's also the first person to win two Nobel Prizes in different fields. Her and her daughter were the first mother and daughter to win Nobel Prizes individually. Marie Curie paved the way for women in STEM by not allowing the mindset of her time to tell her she couldn't do the work of men. Katherine Johnson was an American mathematician who calculated and analyzed the flight paths of many spacecrafts during her more than 3 decades with the US space program, and her work helped send astronauts to the moon. At NASA, Johnson was a member of the Space Task Group, and in 1960 she co-authored a paper with one of the group's engineers about calculations for placing spacecraft into orbit. It was the first time a woman in her division received credit as an author of a research report. Johnson authored or co-authored 26 reports during her career. For a woman who began her career with the NACA when it was still segregated, she is an amazing example of the adversity that women, and especially women of color, had to face and are still facing to this day. Xian Wu, nicknamed the First Lady of Physics, was a pioneer and pivotal figure in the history of physics. An immigrant to the United States from China, she did important work for the Manhattan Project and experimental physics. Her crucial contribution to particle physics was, however, ignored by the Nobel Prize Committee when it awarded the 1957 Nobel Prize in Physics. She was the first woman hired as faculty in the physics department at Princeton. These three women were pioneers of their time and show that women have been an integral part to the advancement of STEM over the years. These women face varying adversities in their career and changed perceptions of what women are capable of. To this day, women still face inequality in STEM over a century later from when Marie Curie was awarded the Nobel Prize. Women still have to fight for their place within STEM. To celebrate International Day of Women and Girls in STEM, we asked some of the amazing women of TMOS what are they optimistic about for the future, and this is what they had to say. Wendy Lee: I am optimistic about achieving things that have not been done and overcoming obstacles that are set before me because I can and am able to. As for the future in photonics, I am hopeful that we'll be able to make the invisible visible. Mary Gray: I'm excited about keeping the best parts of how we've adapted to the last 2 years and bringing in more connection. I am optimistic that we can achieve an upgrade on 2019 workplaces. Budini Karawati: I am very excited and optimistic about 2022 and the amazing opportunities it will bring. I like to think that this is a time to explore new ideas, new perspectives, and new collaborations to bring the best out of ourselves for TMOS. I look forward to visiting labs, attending conferences, meeting new people, being part of outreach programs, and traveling again soon. After such a long Zoom life, it feels even more exhilarating to think that soon we will be able to share ideas, have meaningful conversations about research, and feel the enthusiasm filled in a room full of science lovers. Ying Chong: I think the true outlook of this pandemic is how researchers have rapidly adapted to solve challenges at hand, cultivating a new form of collaboration and diversifying the optics field. Personally, I'm looking forward to how the crossover between artificial intelligence and optics will benefit the medical field and sustainable energy. With this in mind, here are some interesting facts that may shock you. Women are typically given smaller research grants than their male colleagues, and while they represent 33% of all researchers, only 12% of members of national science academias are women. In cutting-edge fields such as artificial intelligence, only 1 in 5 professionals is a woman. Despite a shortage of skill in most of the technological fields driving the fourth industrial revolution, women still account for only 28% of engineering graduates and 40% of graduates in computing science and informatics. Female researchers tend to have a shorter, less well-paid career. Their work is underrepresented in high-profile journals and they are often passed over for promotions. So here are some facts and tips for you to become an ally to women. Firstly, include women. Combat belonging uncertainty among women on your team by inviting them to all work-related gatherings. Don't allow a woman to be left out of an important invite list. During a meeting, if a woman's ideas are being shared, make sure she is heard. Number 2, listen generously. Listen to women with the intent to understand, demonstrate empathy, and validate their experience, not fix the problem for her. Be patient, willing, and reliable sounding board. Assume women are capable and competent, then stop assuming. Scrutinize your automatic, often false assumptions about women, including what they might want or not want to pursue in their professional and personal lives. Then deliberately signal clear assumptions that your female colleagues are talented and competent and make these assumptions transparent in the workplace. Decenter yourself. Intentionally step out of central roles, making physical space for women in meetings. And when invited to lead or participate in high visibility committee or another opportunity, consider whether a talented female colleague would be a better fit and then recommend her. Stepping out of the spotlight, handing women the mic, and calling out their expertise and publicly asking for their input is an excellent way to ensure that more women are included and heard. See something, say something. Practice vigilance in the workplace environment around sexist comments and behavior. Then, be clear and decisive about shutting it down. Remember the bystander paralysis sets in within seconds following a harassing comment or sexist joke. Break this paralysis by immediately noting what is wrong. Number 6, sponsor talented women loudly. Women don't receive as much sponsorship as men. Talk about talented women publicly, even if they're not around, and call out their talent, achievements, and preparedness for promotions and opportunities, and be willing to share your own social capital in recommending women for roles and grants. And number 7, engage in women's initiatives and inclusion events. Attend and participate in gender inclusion events and women's conferences. When you do, show up with a genuine learning orientation and ask how you can more effectively support efforts towards gender inclusion and equality in your organization. Thank you for listening today, and if you have any further comments or questions, please don't hesitate to contact me. Thank you. Bye.